that's important. You know, if you see me do something, I'd rather hear it before we take off. One thing that's never lessened is my sort of wide-eyed appreciation for life. Fuel selector valve, both, mixture, rich, curb heat, cold. When I get up in the morning and I find I can open the door and walk out by myself and go buy my own food, I love that.
Stay clear of the throttle.
Stephen de Groote, amateur pilot, is flying again.
Can't do any better than that.
2 years ago, a plane crash almost ended his life and brought a brilliant musical career to a halt.
Radio's on.
When he won the prestigious Van Cliburn competition 10 years ago, the 24-year-old South African was launched from the pack of piano hopefuls onto the stage at Carnegie Hall and started on an international performing and recording career. In January 1985, just back from a European tour, he headed for a small airport near his Arizona home, eager to get back in the air.
We were just making a fairly ordinary landing approach when the plane dropped and we hit the ground. I don't remember that at all, which is why I still enjoy flying.
De Groote's plane had been caught in a wind shear.
We were in real desert country in the Gila River Indian Reservation south of Phoenix. It was about 9:45 in the morning, and there was really nobody around, and there very rarely is anyone around. Yet we were found by one of the members of the tribe.
The coincidences that kept him alive continued. The man who spotted the crash just happened to be driving a pickup truck equipped with a radio. An ambulance cruising by on the only highway in the area heard the call. Still, by the time help arrived, de Groote was given only a 2% chance of survival.
My doctor tells me that I had essentially 2 fatal injuries. One was that my aorta was entirely severed, and the other was that I had a bad enough fracture to my skull, of which the remnants are still visible. That air was coming into my brain cavity with every breath that I took. I don't think it would be wrong or far-fetched to say that it was, a matter of a minute or two, and I might have either died or been brain damaged. And that's one amazing thing. Another is that my back was broken, yet I am not paralyzed.
Incredibly, de Groote's hands were not injured in the crash. He left the hospital something of a bionic man, with a piece of Dacron in his heart and a steel rod in his leg. He was playing in public again just 8 weeks after the crash.
I started to play quite a lot, although I was still on crutches, and later when I got off the crutches I was on a cane, and I stooped badly and I looked awful, and I inflicted this frightful sight on audiences.
Several months after the plane crash, doctors discovered de Groote also had a broken back. His concert career was interrupted again while he spent almost a year imprisoned in a body cast.
That really was the lowest moment. When I got out, and I was relieved of my disability overnight. I didn't even have to go into physical therapy. The doctor said that normal activities would put me back into normal condition, which is exactly how it turned out. It felt as if I was just a little bit too privileged. I couldn't really, in a way, justify it. Why did I recover this well? How is it possible? What's the reason? They felt like guilty feelings. I don't think they were guilty feelings, but they felt that way. I felt slightly sad.
In your moments of sadness, when you were able to go to the piano, what would you turn to?
When I was in my cast, I was able to play a little bit every day. I sort of genuflected. I sat on the left edge, and it was my left knee that was straight out, you know, held tight by the cast. And because of the way I sat, I wasn't able to reach the pedal, and my left foot was behind me, and I couldn't really reach the pedal, so I played Bach a lot. Well, it's often given to students to play. And the students can sometimes be cynical about it, and the teacher can grow cynical about it for the same reason. Because they've heard it over and over again, you know. When I started to play it, I heard something in it that I probably wouldn't have heard if I hadn't had no options but to play Bach. It's sort of a song of praise to me. A very, very pure message of goodness. Your second finger's doing it again.
How do you do that? That is so cool. Well,
After the accident, de Groote returned to the scene of his youthful triumph, Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, where the Van Cliburn piano competition is held every 4 years. As a former winner, he's something of a local hero at the school, as well as director of piano studies.
That was pretty nice. I like that. Do you like that?
yeah, I like it better what I was doing.
Yeah. You should never be afraid to do ridiculous things. You might happen to do something ridiculous that's actually quite convincing and nice, you know. But if you... I am convinced inside that the reason I grew up with an inclination to play music was that I heard it around me all the time in such a natural way that people didn't tell me there was something special there that I should pay close attention to if I ever wanted to understand it. To me, music was rather like brushing my teeth, you know. It was just something I did every day.
Music was the family business. From the age of 6, Stephen was touring South Africa concert halls while kneeling on the piano bench in order to reach the keys. That brought audiences to their feet. Stephen de Groote is also concentrating on getting his career going again. Violinist Robert Davidovich and New World Records waited a year for de Groote to be well enough to play for this recording of 20th century violin and piano music. The album is due to be released this spring. When Stephen de Groote won the Van Cliburn competition, the future was full of promise. That promise was cruelly broken, but only temporarily. Stephen de Groote is alive and well. His ordeal has brought him new awareness about himself as an artist and as a man.
I have no interest in reaching my peak at the age of 24. I'm 33 now, and I play a lot better than when I was 24. And I'm planning to play much, much better still when I'm 45, and a whole lot better when I'm 60.
You look very different on the outside. You are still as dashing as you always were. But it's very different, Stephen de Groote, who I'm looking at. Is there a difference inside?
I think I'm more interested now in direct communication on every level, musical and human, I think. I do know that I hold a lot of things more dear than I ever even knew were valuable to me. And one of those is my ability to play the piano. It's me making those sounds. I didn't write the music, but I after all, am making it a live vibration in the air. And my fingers have learnt all this over the last 33 years, and they're not damaged in the accident, and that was a miracle, truly incredible.